His turn to share.
I know. So I want to hear Benji. Evidently, Benji had a lot to share.
Oh, yeah.
I was just suspecting,
Oh, you're speculating.
speculating,
Yeah, I have some things
imagining,
to share. Yeah.
querying, probing. I need to learn English to use the right vocabulary for the right occasion.
You're doing pretty good.
Huh?
I've been able to understand.
Okay. Well, Elijah prayed on the road. I'm really impressed by his prayer. Short, but the word much, felt in the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe he just wake up in the morning, in a slow mode. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's songs like this thing. You never know. He's on the back seat, so I can't see his face.
Yeah.
I don't know in what mode he prayed,
Uh-huh.
but it's pretty good for me. So.
That's good.
It's your turn.
All right. Our Father, we come to you again, and we thank you, Lord, for bringing us together and helping it to be possible, Lord, to come together. Lord, I thank you for your Spirit that is in us, and Lord, that speaks through us. Lord, I thank you for, Lord, being our solution, being our help, Father. Lord, I just thank you for each day, Lord, and in the way that you purpose us in each time, and Lord, just the season that we are in, Lord. Lord, I thank you for the questioning of the hearts of your people, Lord, and for just Lord, the desire to move on with your will and your plan. I thank you, Lord, for even the people who have just started to come to know you more and more, Lord, in our group. Lord, I thank you for the beautiful unity that you are building in us. Lord, I pray that you would continue to, Lord, help us not to be pushy or forceful, but Lord, may they come to a place of desire and longing from their own mind, Lord. May they come to the decision themselves, Father, and truly seek out your way. Lord, I thank you for this morning. I pray that you would, Lord, bless the classes and just the hearts of the ones listening, Father. Lord, may we never take this time for granted, Lord. Take advantage of it and certainly apply the understandings to our life, Lord. Lord, I thank you for Lord, the joy that comes from you, Lord. A joy that is renewed and just new every day, Lord. I pray that you would, Lord, help us not to rely on things of this world, Lord, to keep us encouraged, but to, Lord, live for you, in you only, Lord. Lord, I thank you for the ones that you have placed in our life to encourage us. Lord, I just pray that you would help us to, Lord, to go through struggle for you, Lord, to be willing to go through the ups and downs of life. But Lord, would you keep our heart in the right place, and Lord, may we always see you in every situation. So Lord, I thank you for this time, and pray that you would bless our hearts as we speak, and share with each other. Amen.
One prayer. Thank you. Benji. Hope my joke doesn't give you a hard time, whatever, So be freer person. We go through mode, especially young people. One season we're lighthearted, the other season might be we're heavy-hearted. Actually, each one is healthy. That means grow at bumping road. Bump to the left, bump to the okay. Okay, gotta put it straight. Yeah, those things as well. So it's all part of the growth. So, but on either one, make sure the heart is in the right place. Bible said have a clean conscience. That's very important.
What does that word mean? Conscience?
Conscience. It's like you're facing a judge. Somebody asks you, what are your motive? Why you did what you did? What you did maybe have bad consequence or good consequence. So the judge is not said what you did caused this damage, this damage. Those can be reconciled and have consequences. But this judge, however, he said, why you did what you did? Motive, essentially. The intent of the heart. And then, then everything after that, you will look at it. From there, then make decision or carry yourself in two directions. One is what you did. The second is how you carry yourself, what attitudes with it, which you did. Those are next level. You can imagine, right? So first, why you did what you did. And then let's say, well, you're going to put in action, right? So make choices, do things. You can do things. Hey, good. But you did in a way that your attitudes, as you said, pushy, So the key is not pushy or not pushy. The key is why you did what you did. The first thing. The second thing is what he did, demand a certain response or not, or responsibility. It's a matter of urgency. Some fire is hitting your building, ready to kill your sister. She still said, don't bother me, I'm going to continue to sleep. You're going to be more than pushy. You're going to be very angry with her. So slap her wrist a little bit. Get up and don't say a word. Get going with me. That's word commanding. Don't argue with me. Gotta go. Wake up. So that's word pushing, right? Beyond pushing, right? So when your parents come around and said, don't ever treat your sister like that. Or they try to come and thank you, Benji. See your sister. The same action interpreted by different people in the different mode. With a fire, that's an urgency. Everybody know what to do, instant. But not all situations is well informed and map out in mutual understanding like that. That's a tactic to learn, to share your vision, share your way, how you handle things, how you observe objectively, hopefully objectively, right? So. And what's really going on, share the picture with people so we have an agreement. Then you can talk about whether we should be pushy or slowy. Yeah, either way. Most people, they are very unwise in life. They only look at the surface. They don't look at the big picture or the urgency of the matter. As a civilian, you do your life in a certain pace. As a soldier, can you do your life in a certain pace? The commander come around and said, hey, who told you can do things your own way? But certain people don't understand. Life may be not set up by their own pace. Somebody may command the situation, command the pace. They never enter into that life. Therefore, what do you do? What do new soldiers do? Why they go to the camp? Why they have somebody shot them, make them feel like a little ant, like a little worm, Physical training beside, they are training their attitudes. I don't want you to argue with me. There is no place for you to argue with my commandment. You don't have a place to tell me what to do. That's literally what they try to train you as a new soldier. Don't even think you have a place to tell the commander what to do. That we don't like it, right? Especially American mind. Until you're a soldier, American soldier is the most best soldier in the world. And American mind that protects American independence, man. Freedom. The problem is it. So why they do that? Because they're committed for that freedom, that independent way and dignified way of living required some protection. And for that regime to set up, they volunteer to discipline themselves, they yield to that. My God, don't tell me what to do. I have my right. So to give it up, right? So to protect the better good and greater good for others. That's a noble sacrifice. So in life, the same thing. If you don't volunteer for it, you will be one go down the street to protest. But if you volunteer for something you don't look at like a civilian. You give up your civilian thinking. You're on the command now. Amen? Hallelujah. Can you tell President, I don't like your policy here. He's the president, one of the elected officials in my nation. By the way, I cast a vote when you were a little mayor, you know? So don't tell me what to do. Now he's the commander-in-chief. He's not really your president. Came from background a little mayor, right? So he's now trusted by your greatest generals that used to the list of official ranks is sent to the training camp. Tell you, I will treat like a worm. You better have attitude. I make sense here. A certain soldier in this nation don't reconcile that. The president always gracious in this nation actually, a lot of allowance. But the bulk down in the day when the missile is going on, as the last time lesson to certain things, President Kennedy worked with Eisenhower to work through the missile crisis, So the nuclear war almost broke out in the Cuban Missile Crisis. And he has to go through all the generals, former president, and they have a short, sweet conversation, like about 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes, that's all. And decision made, informed, understand, that's it. 2 minutes. Now, do you tell me that 2 minutes is really 2 minutes? No, it was a lot of respect, a lot of discussion, a lot of mutual understanding, agreement what a leader for this nation is supposed to do, a commander of the army was supposed to do. Now, Eisenhower did too, right? So, and that time, Truman was a very young president, experienced. So, facing one of the most grievous crises after the war. Who is the best candidate for you to seek counsel? Now that's leadership there. 2 minutes, you can discuss a matter and has a pro agreement, even endorsement of the general and the former president, just like that. And you tell me you cannot be like that? I am like that today. And people would say, "What do you think? You are better than Kennedy?" No, I'm just know how to process things and to talk about it. To think emergency things. Now, do you think someone gonna feel disrespected in a high crisis in the middle of all the chaos, all the things down, and this president took 2 minutes time to inform his seeks counsel, seeks approval for the action the policy going to do? It's a secret deal actually with the Russian leaders. So and hidden away from the public. And so my point is not political agenda. I was amazed by the conversation they carried. That's my point. The caliber, the mutual respect, the quick agreement. It's like the president, Eisenhower already knows the policy was supposed to do. It's already, if he's the commander-in-chief, if he's the president, how he can handle the crisis already had on just in front of him, right? So here comes a young president, just dictating to him what he can say, what to do. That's my point. You know, that's kind of Kennedy we're talking about. So brilliant. Exactly what I'm gonna do. Do you think an elder statesman and a general, who is eldership for the nation, would not be delighted and thrilled for the nation has such able young leader in good hand, so make it sense to you? Yeah. They can't sleep, Louis to work on those deals, And my point is that in life, you want to have great achievements, have a life expanded, especially to train yourself to be one responsibility, right? Don't have to officially assume responsibility. One can learn to handle things as one of a responsibility. Trust can be trustworthy. You got to learn to think differently. So no leader really is a capable man, is a man of the moment. They may become in the eyes of common audiences that, that's a man of the moment, they save the day. The truth of the matter, all those men somehow, somewhere, they prepare themselves for that moment. That moment will come, they're waiting for it. You can find two kind of leaders in life. Those ambitious pursuit, greedy, holding, manipulating, try to be that man. Those often is bad leader. They may do good things, but they don't have character. Then those feel they have destiny, they have vision. They really have the solution for this nation, for these people. They really cares, and that he like to prepare himself for the moments to come. Churchill was like that. Roosevelt like that. Kennedy obviously like that. I don't know much Kennedy, begin to study. Young person, right? Many are like that. And actually, most likely, every president is like that in the great nation, especially in the open election process we got. Maybe don't like them or don't not like them, so maybe some shady deals going on. But there is some part in them that I really want to help these people. I really want to lead this nation. I think I can be a better visionary and leader for it, set the nation on a different course. But they had to prepare themselves, so, they had to think about it, study about it, and then eventually I said, I need to present my case to the people, see what they think. Even the visions are good, and offer them that I'm the guy gonna lead and organize this, right? So, make it sense to you? That's why they wanted the office. Is that bad by nature, all those things? You can call ambition, for sure, maneuver things, but I think it's a noble desire to serve a greater good than yourself. Where we were, I might already take the time, but let me stop there. You start when you're young. I'm not teaching you being ambitious. I'm talking about doing sacrifice for the greater cause. Have a dedication from the greater cause. Or if you decide that's not what you want, charter cause, let me be a good father, let me a good teacher, good scientist, good friend. Don't worry about it. Now, once you that is set up in your heart, then don't be ambitious. Don't need to bother yourself whether getting promoted or not promoted, trusted or promoted, not trusted, Unfortunately, most of the parents, most young people, they never made that cut in their education for young people, in the brought up young people. Therefore, they give a tormenting pathway, vision for young people. Make it into, so when they raise them like civilians, the parents especially, expect them someday going to be a president. Or yourself decide, I'm going to be this one, but you don't prepare yourself for it. And the responsibility given to you, and the discipline given to you, you just, I'm a civilian. Don't touch me. Don't tell me what to do. Then, don't tell us you want to be a leader. You have to assume good responsibility. It's incompatible. We need to pray. Actually, Elijah lay hands on Benji. This is a struggle, so if you want to be a good leader, Benji, the shelter and comfortability for people intimate to you is just not going to be good enough, right? Because they're not the standard. Sometimes maybe they're a great hindrance for you. Because the ways are limited, short-sighted. That's why Jesus sometimes said, do not stop with the familiar connotations of life. Follow me. I will tell you what to do with your life. Follow me. Follow my pattern. You're going to be a civilian, stay in the home. Be a civilian. Paul said to Timothy. But you're enlisted in God's service. Well, follow my pattern, follow my example. Follow the way how I do things. I think certain parents in our circle, like your parents, struggle with this profoundly. They are not the standard. Actually, they have not yet learned the standard. I yet to see serious commitment to the standard. Amen? Hallelujah. Go ahead.
Yes, Lord, I pray for Benji and that he would, Lord, just truly grow in your wisdom, Lord, and take more seriously, Lord, the things in life, Lord, especially the things in life that you have appointed him to follow and understand. And Lord, that he would begin to truly mature in all aspects of life, Lord. Lord, that he would learn to be one that, Lord, truly honors you and steps in the path that you lead him in. Lord, I pray that you would bless him in Jesus' name.
Obviously, God set you apart, Benji, to be a leader, to be a servant in the kingdom for his people. This think that kind of teacher can help you, man. Do you think your parents upset, or rather thrilled for you to serve the Lord in great capacity? And reconcile that is happening now. Well, let me say this to you. If you're going to go to as a student, go to the college, okay? You study hard, prepare yourself, and then you prepare the finances. The parents will do everything, even to beat you up a little bit if you don't study hard. You want to go to university, right? And nobody disagrees about that. Everybody knows this is the thing's good for the young man. Go to the best university, right? You see money, work hard to go to Harvard, let's see. And Harvard said, great. Let me see, are you qualified? Do you really want to study here? That's no question. Even Howard said, okay, let me discuss those things with you. What your parents will do, what you will do. You will say, oh my God, Howard noticed me. Let me question you. Is that your parents' attitude? Not yet. Is that how you prepare for the kingdom service? Not yet. What about Noah and this young man? Yes, he did. Yes, they did. You don't tell me, to me, that's not difference. Therefore, I will associate with them differently. The parents highly honor me, credit me as one capable to train them up in this way. They don't think any bad attitudes, no reservation, rather celebrate, thank God that in me give allowance and willing to devote my life to invest in their life. Am I? Is that not their attitude? If you don't, well, you know what? I'm going to have a hard time with them. Because that's only possible, compatible attitudes, approach to seek the thing. And if any family member in his circles disturb these things, discredit things, which they did, and currently still be a stumbling block, then what we're going to do? We're going to say, then you have no say. You actually don't show up in this process. I don't want to see you around. That's what I did. And so was his parents did. What about you? Go to Harvard. Somebody asks you, should I ask you even qualify? Do you really want to go here? Somebody said, oh, we're already there. We're already student. Do not appreciate the kind of dedication, invitation, the value of invitation. Now, Benjamin asks you, am I unwise? Am I ridicule people unnecessarily? That's what Jesus did. That's what Paul did. Then God commanded, disciplined Abraham did. His own son, young man around him, Lot, Ishmael is the firstborn, right? God said, get rid of him. So what Abraham did? His heart torn, plead to God. God said, no. Some of you young men, which you come of age, need to wake up what is before you. Those things not up to you, not to be hard, okay? It's up to me. I'm not mad of your religion or Western Christianity. To the contrary, I disguise it. I don't advertise for it. No, I was raised by it. Nothing to do with my uprising, the Lord. Am I sent or raised up, taught by Western Christians? Give me a break. So called you guys need to have a very clear understanding who is here trying to associate with you. That's God didn't speak. You can be the best friend of Elijah. Serve the Lord in whatever capacity you can. That's decided by Elijah. Your friendship and service partner with Elijah doesn't mean a thing to me. Is that being ugly? Or peculiar called? Amen? Hallelujah. I understand what God wants me to do. What Elijah wants to do is another deal. Christians don't understand that. Amen? Hallelujah. Like you're a commander, you sent to Europe, do you? You will befriend somebody surround, Elijah is in Asia. thinking about it. And he will find the local people, whatever people he can just partner with him in the Asian service. I'm working in Europe. I'm respect him. He's a friend, definitely my natural friend. We have a great time. But when I began to command my affair militarily or whatever in Asia, in Europe, do I even discuss with him? After friendship and assessment, I said, well, I want you to counsel me and partner with me in certain things, in the thing I do in Europe. Now what I do is a friend. Amen. I will drink with you, hang around with you. I will even give you the best my room for you to have a tour. Become a tourist, you know. I'll give everything. We wanted to be my friendship. But I will not enlist you or even tell anything about what I'm going to do with my professional stuff, right? Nobody take offense. In the world, nobody take offense. But Christians are very unwise. The most serious matters, more noble matter, more clear assignment, they have no clue even how to operate this way. Have you a clue? Do you have a clue? Not yet. They have a clue? Not yet. But Tim knows, John knows, Moses knows, the people I work with all know. This is how I operate. Are you interested? Then you have to learn from the people how they operate, to observe why they do what they do, how they do it. Follow my example. And you have to be enlisted. And how you be enlisted in Harvard? You don't even make the paper say, hey, I want to go to your school. It's not started, right? Harvard not going to fund you. It's a job Harvard to chase you or knock your door and say, please, Benji, be our student. But that's common with Christian mind. Especially some unenlightened parents' mind. I'm saying, don't become that parents, okay? You grew up. Your child is not that special in this regard. Don't ruin them. That's a foolishness, thinking about it, in terms of dealing with the Harvard. That's not starter. If you insist, you imagine otherwise, it doesn't matter. Harvard, I'm not even thinking about it. All right? Who they care? I mean, what do you think? Well, it doesn't matter. Well, you had an opinion, your child is not obviously not going to be my student. That's how Jesus operated. Jesus don't even want his mother to have a say how he chooses students, right? Did he? So, that cruel, disrespectful, ugly, or he operated in his father's business according to standard. You hold up your hand and pray. I need to cut off this morbid unawareness in your mind. What it means spiritual youth, that is absolute youth. It's a blinder. Then from their place it said, how I treated. Why people do relationship with me? Have we turned around the mirror and said, how I treated people, receive people? We don't pay honor we're due. We don't come to ask what is required of me. Imagine all the privilege be given, but combine that. That's Christianity. Well, hold on a minute. Are we here doing that kind of Christianity? Do you want to come back to that? Don't go back to that. We're not doing that here. That includes Tim's parents, Rachel's parents, John's parents, Ben's parents, Justin's parents. Every one of them. Did you see a difference? or uniformly they said, no, we're going to do it differently. That's why God sent them here. When God sent you come here, you go through the narrow gate. This word narrow, not forever. Invitation is invited for a particular occasion, particular events, am I right? Who can hold invitation for the feast, for the party forever? I'm going to invite you, 25 years old, you're still going to hold the invitation to you, you just missed it. 25 years old, going to start today, give you the same invitation. Are you crazy? I don't want to teach you anymore. No, you qualify to be a student. As of today's standard, that's natural conclusion. And that's life 101. No, absolutely not. We don't understand that? That's life 101. When you're 70 years old, Howard still want you? No. You pass age. We train the people who is going to have a ability both to learn but have a life that ahead of them. That's why we train them. It's not entertainment. We are an institution train the young people for society. That's Howard, right? So to expect any university said, no, you're supposed to treat every citizen the same. Well, no age gap. What are you saying? You applied, Howard to give you invitation, some excellent students, right? They will sort you out actually in excellent schools. I'm going to cause those conversations to dissolve this complacent mind that you are brought up with. This word we're speaking is over the top. That's not how I brought up. That's not how team process life in the Lord. It's set up in this way for this reason. That's never John even thinking about it. That's why many Christians are the worst candidate for discipleship. That's why Jesus did not choose. The Jews today, high scholar, Pharisees as the first set of disciples. He chose a fisherman, right? The one no one want. But the eager desire to God, the want to learn. He said, okay, I'll choose you guys.
I got a good question.
Okay. That's why he said, brothers, stay at home. I don't want you guys hung around. Because you disturbed and caused a wrong culture around me. In terms of how I associate my disciple. You never treated me with that kind of honor, respect, discipline. You actually don't think I teach you anything. I can't teach you anything? Then why you be our disciples? Incredible. That's fundamentally incompatible, right? That's a lie to yourself. A teacher, when see his students don't want to be as good students or even think he can teach him, would that teacher be happy? Feel honored? Respected? But that's a Christian thing. Yeah, that's our right to judge you, to tell you what to do, how we should be treated. Hold on a minute. Go to your own teacher then. Don't go to the one sent by God. You're not going to have it. You should write yourself off. Then you will not have it. You should write yourself off. Then you will not have it. You just write yourself off. I will never have that kind of attitudes around me. Never. Did I get close to you? Never. That's not how I do things. So hold up your hand, pray.
Lord, your ways are much higher than our own, Lord. Much more ahead of us, Lord. Father, you know each step of our lives. Each thing that we will do, Lord, each way that we will follow, Lord, if we choose you. So, Lord, help us to be disciplined. Help us to give up ourselves, Lord. To be able to be, Lord, willing and mature enough to sacrifice for a greater good, Lord. Lord, I thank you for, Lord, the way that Emmanuel imparts, Lord, these things, and that he addresses them in a way that is, Lord, that is of your own, Lord, of your own way. Lord, may we as the young generation, certainly me, Lord, take this as truth, Lord, as reality. Lord, I know that Emmanuel is not frustrated nor mad, Lord, but he just wants to help.
Thank you, Benji.
He just wants to, Lord, to break us out of our habits that are unhealthy, Lord, and that are not from you, certainly. To save us from the pain. So, Lord, help us to be right with you. And to, Lord, truly realize these things and, Lord, act quickly and not linger on it. May it be done away with as soon as possible.
I listen to the word pushy. What do you mean pushy? Whose standard? Your parents' standard? Your own standard? My standard or the Lord's standard? That word is very tricky. What do you mean pushy? Who is pushy? For what reason it is pushy? That's the Lord's voice or the devil's voice? I want to know. In the young man's mind. Who gave that counsel? Who said it's pushy? Who decide it's pushy? When hard come to you, sorry out, it's hard to push it. Why you don't think at all? You put a party out there. Brag to your neighborhood, my child just got Harvard noticed. If your parents say, I'm dealing with you as a pusher, that's very disrespectful. And if you think I'm dealing with you as a pusher, you just write me off. You have not seen me being pushy. Tim, when I'm being serious with him, He don't have a word. This recent are dealing with Moses. The whole congregation is silent. And they respond with a thanksgiving, knowing that others enlist them for greater service, greater responsibility, ready to partner with them into greater things. They don't think I'm pushy. They were glad to pass a qualification, if you will, to move on. Some of your parents' life is very small. Benji, when I was 23 years old, 24 years old, 25, I commanded business. I was a young man, and nobody think I'm pushy. I was pushy. When we think like that, they will never work with me. Is that stupid for me? And I begin to talk to them seriously, think everybody cheered up. Because I begin to notice them. That means I want to promote them, to share responsibility with them. You would think, oh, you just get a business, for sure you do. Well, that's not true. I was a young clerk learning accounting. There are young men come from a accounting background. In the beginning, everybody said, oh, this guy don't even know accounting, the basic accounting is on. Not 2 months into my relationship with them. Because they learned their accounting skill means nothing. In the eyes of the manager, in the eyes of me. We do things differently. So I impart this thing to you is most like give it 10 years impartation how to deal with a serious life. You understand? Yeah. Parents should train child like that from beginning to handle serious responsibilities. If you can't, don't expect them to succeed in those things. You never even bring the basics into their life what requires them. I can exhaust this topic for your life change. Is that okay for you? Okay. You run a marathon. Run a great sprint. I mean, the parents don't teach you nothing about running a marathon if they don't know the sports. They think they know. The disciplines were very much a distinct thing. That's why people have experts, right? The one who did it to be your coaches. I mean, in the common mind, who don't know how to run? Everybody know how to run. But the experts, they know, the parents know, said, oh my God, my child just begin to have the best team, best coach to train him up. Time belong to us. I command time. Because you are important to God. Means all the business, all the things going on, I commanded how to clock it. Do you understand that? It created for me. Arrogant. But do you want to learn these things? Then you have to have an open eye to see how it really works. Is that too much to think about? God created the Roman world for Paul. Do you understand that? Not the other one. For Jesus, Paul, for the church. Even Roman world will not think like that. Even the Western mind still today will never think like that. But as some, as God's servant, that's always the starting point. Spiritual operation 101. American, all this, created for you and I. For this ministry, maybe. Thinking about it. Is that too arrogant? Hold on a minute. I saw the timeline. God. When a man God said, I'm not gonna move. Then nobody gonna make me move. Nobody. Nada. Do you want to learn these things? Then you must have an open heart, open mind. Elijah lay hands on him, have vision for him. You have vision. It's for good reason God give you those things, because it's your time, Benji. And this is a thing you might struggle with. It's a crossroad of your devotion. Are you going to serve God now? If you want to serve God, to minister the gospel, minister not man's way of ministering the gospel, but let me collect my ownership and the offense every ear of a man. Our way of ministering the gospel. Our way minister the gospel. The order of Melchizedek, that way minister the gospel. The way I can compete there's no comparison here, but the way how Paul did it, Peter did it, right? So hopefully we can compare to Jesus. Amen. Hallelujah. At least like Timothy. At least like Timothy. Then I'm not going to let the Christianity that today tell me what to do. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? When Elijah and Moses and Jesus continue to show on the mountaintop, tell us, the audience, to respect, receive our ministry, I have Christians to tell me what to do. They like it or not, I won't care about what they think. I care what my Lord thinks. And He gave me the confidence and the clarity. He gave me my audience, or the minister. So certain people are prideful in my hearing. Are you going to tell Moses how to do things? Elijah how to do things? Oh, we didn't. That's what you did to me. You do that to me, then you did to Moses, Elijah, am I right? By equation. Unless you don't click, don't believe. Then you don't believe, why you think I'm going to teach you? You have nothing to do with me. When those things given to me, how you want me to carry myself? To violate those things? To ignore those things? To throw in the drain? To cheapen it? Distort it? Or walk in it? So when I walk in it, you become the stumbling block and resistance. What that means to you? Either it's personal, no, he don't know what he's doing. He's a prideful man. He lost his mind. That's okay. I'll not take offense. I understand. I am a stupid man to begin with. But what the Lord said, you and I are equally responsible, am I right? So what we're going to do, when how God work going to map it up, going to be take effect. We set this vision. Here, I'm going to do this. So who am I going to do it? I want it. And if you don't happy, I want it, and step into it, and you say, obviously to me, the message is you don't want it. You don't want it, then what I have to do is you, in the name of the Lord. Benji, is that very clear or not? It's like simple. A man made it complicated because they don't believe. Actually, they can't believe. They don't obey. They don't believe, they can't obey. If you believe, then you obey. I believe, therefore I speak. Then I obey. They don't believe. Am I going to argue with some character elder generations and, hey, you guys think you're crazy, you're prideful, da-da-da, 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 da-da-da. Well, I have a lot of patience, respect for you. But you don't know what I know. You have never go through God or even have a patience, have appetite to ask God what this is about. Your da-da-da means nothing to me. Should it mean anything to me? Mary cared a lot about Jesus. Said this, said that. Should not go there, should do this. She's a wonderful mother, obviously godly mother. Deserve all respect. But when she said, you should not carry Peter as your disciple, that kind of thing. She should not go to that town to stir up the face, So, this is, thank you, Mom, for your care. but I'm going to listen to my Heavenly Father, have something to take care of here. Please, please, please. Not ugly, but please, you don't understand what's going on. Leave him alone. So. I can't explain to you because I'm not interested. That's what's really going on. Really going on. Even you ask them, I don't tell you because it's not my time to tell you. You will not ever believe. We're too familiar. You always bring me to your level, basically. And I'm willing to come to my level. I can teach you nothing. So I'm going to have peace with you as much as possible, but I will not let you infringe on my ministry. Yes, your ministry, my ministry to you, will not be infringed, disturbed, troubled by any man. Any man, period, Benji. Period. When Tim dedicated Noah and Elijah to me, he only enhance him, right? Help him, right? Did he cut in and say, let me tell you how to do this, let me tell you how to my son be treated? Never. I made a blunder. I have a personality identity, and it's not all you and everything work like a flower. But at least there's an overall trust there. Make me feel comfortable, more than comfortable, excited, more than willing. I can do my best, right? So to invest in these relationships. That's a template. You might want to have a conversation with your parents about this mentor. Because mentor, yes, it does matter for my relation with them. The other day I was telling the business meeting, I said, I'm not here really interested to build a relationship in the business world for you. I'm only talking to 1 million man, okay? In your whole family, blunt, one person. All your family are received in the Lord is because of whom? Because you. Because God has purpose for you, has calling for you. Everything is a bridge. It's, you want to play the tree, right, in the garden. Everything is a garden for that tree to thrive. People don't operate at this level. They don't understand how to operate. That's always God's way to operate. There's always godly ones in generational blessings or covenant returns. God's people with God. That's how they operate. They found the right one. They invest in the right one. So when I talk about that better than Harvard, you better believe it. All the university across history till today don't have the kind of honor privilege for this university. And you treat less than that, well, you're not worthy of this university. Oh, you're so arrogant. Who do you think you are? Well, there you go. That's a problem, right? It's a covenantal relationship, Benji. And God hold each one of us accountable. I don't invite you with unbecome and unfitting time. But you long to be part of it. Long to be included. Oh, we understand that you must invest in this relationship, make it special. Invest in the time. Let me share something with you. I observe. You never reach out to me. Why is that? That means I'm not important to you. It's loud and clear. Your struggle, intimate thoughts, you never disclose to me. That means I'm not your friend. I'm not saying that I have to, so I'm working towards that level. My point is that the door is not open for me to do anything. So how you expect me to do anything else? You just set the template for me. Will I share my intimate thoughts with you? When I want to hang around with someone, have solid discussion, solid in the spirit relationship with them, in terms of discipleship, others, can I include you? No way, you're a disturbance. You don't know what you're talking about. I can't do anything to you. You're always going on the sideline to observe. I'm glad for you to observe. But you're not the candidate. I don't see the compatibility yet. You are young, I don't compel you, but you rise up. I mean, you're not the young man 2 years ago, right? Start with somebody, start somewhere. Maybe start today for you to change a little bit. Maybe a conversation with Elijah should be not where we going, have some fun. Start with, what your relation with your dad look like? What your relation with God look like? What your relation with the swing and those in the time term, what's look like? Can I be part of it? What required of me? Those are basics. I'm going to continue. You want to be in a sports team, and Elijah's playing sports. You don't know much of the cause, you don't know much of the team, you go there being a spectator, right? Even a cheerleader, who knows what he does in sports team. But Elijah is in the team. What do you do? What do you do? Want to be in the team? What do you do? You show you love the sports more than want to be a fan, want to be want to wiggle the flags and the cheerleader. You said, I want to be a player, am I? I want to be a player. So I want to be a player. What it take for me to be a player? Because the best cheerleader is not interested in, it had to drop all that. That's only a signal. He might really be seriously considered as when he said, I want to be a player. I will certainly, let's talk about him. Make sense to you? I will not say to him, I don't have time for you, please. Go through the formal procedures. Make sense to you? So that means you're a great cheerleader, you're then a team member on the team. But that's Christian mistakes in terms of discipleship. And when we said, hold on, have you studied the landscape how this works yet? They get offended already. You see I don't love the team? You see I'm not cheering on? Not the point. You said you want to be on the team to be a player, so I want to talk about that. No, I just want to talk about, you really talking about that. I don't like the team. I don't like the sports. No. Who said that? That's my dissolve of your trouble with you. I'm not accusing you don't love God, not good Christian, not at all. Or not have God people around you. That's not my point. The point is I'm doing a very particular thing with some young people, with some leaders here. Not everything is come in and said, I have a place here. I demand your attention and some kind of relation. Are you kidding me? That's just disrespectful to begin with. Do you know what I get involved even? Do you know who I am? How I do things. It's not that I'm a good man, godly man, best friend, best decent man in the world. That's not the point I'm talking about. I'm trying to disciple people in the business of the Father. Do you even know what I'm doing here? And that's on lip service. Here in the castle, it's on the ground right now. And there are many good, godly people around. They have no clue about this. But when you want to be a team member, Benji, aren't this supposed to be the starting place? So if you want to be a team member, what do you do? You go to Elijah. Let me give very clear description of this. Any other thing doesn't work for me. Let me work clear. It's my relationship. Alright? I decide how it processed. And I know how it's processed because I tried many ones. Invariably, this is the process. I had to do it myself. So, making sense to you? There's a pattern in this. I give the parable for you. You have to tell me you really committed, want to be part of it. It's highly valued, highly honored in your heart. Well, why I will invest? Noah, Elijah, these kind of invest heavily in your life as well because you're ready. Why? Because they're committed. They highly honored. They most possibly don't think I cannot do it myself. Then why other surrounding elders I can't include this? Because they don't think I can do anything. They don't support my ministry. Period. It's not personal. And here I'm doing something in the name of the Lord. They said, you can't do it. Or you don't know what you're doing. You're just doing your own thing. I'm not having the duty or even the luxury. I don't have an appetite to explain myself to them. Elijah will speak to them. What the kind of man he's going to be raised up by God will speak to them. Not going to speak to them. I'm not being ugly, I'm saying there's another way to dialogue with people, man, to come to agreement. That's not disrespectful. That's we hold it engaging down properly. Nothing personal. But if it's treated personal, I'm not going to treat it in kind. I'm going to say, I'm going to let those noises shut out of my life. This whirlwind, quiet it down. I'm going to invest when I need to invest. Continue to build up with willing ones, with the thing God tell us to do. I'm not going to be distracted, disturbed, and try to apply those things. The more they do it, the more invest in the ones I need to invest in. So are you ready? That's my point this morning. You and I have such conversation again with me, you understand? It's not hard. Because others three give you invitation. Are you willing to be a team member? I hope you respond in kind. You don't come back to me and say, oh yeah, I still want the cheerlead on. The question is, you want to enlist, what do you do if I'm one of the environments? That's common sense, right? I'm going to ask a lot of Elijah how he get enlisted. What he's doing in this playground, in this team member. What required? What's really getting place? If I'm really interested. My friendship with Elijah will change gears. That can be a top list, what I talk about. I will not talk about poems, literature, friends, little whatever life they got. I will put this on the top things. Now, that sounds pushy there. I'm just saying, that's what I'm looking at. I'm going to study you. See how you carry those relationships. And decide what I to do. Would you not do that in my position? Would you not do that, Benji? I hope you do that. I hope you will carry the same, do the same in the days to come among these young people. Among the so-called believers, especially. So that you can be a genuine servant of the Lord, not lip service. The genuine thing built by genuine reality and genuine procedures. Elijah, can you pray for him? Forget about the class. We're going to do other things. Go ahead.
Yes, Lord, I just pray that you would just encourage Benji's heart, Lord, and that he would not be downcast over these things, but Lord, instead encouraged, Lord, to grow in your spirit. For it's times like these where we truly grow, Lord, in our life, in you, Lord. That we grow spiritually and grow more wise, more discerning, Lord. So I pray for him, Lord, and also his family. They would all continue to follow you, of course, and to, Lord, come to know you more, Lord, and to grow deeper, Lord, in what you have for them, and that they would understand, Lord, the true basics of life. For many times that is missed for all of us. Lord, may we continue to just learn the basics of life, and Lord, and the basics of a life that concerns you and honors you. So bless him. In Jesus' name.
Let's move ahead to other directions. Benji, I want you to hear a prayer. Don't worry about it. I'm going to record this and share with your mom and dad. The reason is I want them to grow, to become compatible partners with other family members here.
Amen.
That was a long for them, right? They won't be trusted, come to more solid working relation with us in raising up young people, right? And learn how to get in down. Become a volunteer, celebrate it as the best gift a man like me can give to them. This yesterday was a great heavy burden after my conversation with the Kenyan brother sisters. The Lord inspired me to give it in call. We spent another 2 hours after that. The conversation landed is that Justin and Nicole come to the mass play on New Year's Eve. They saw a rainbow, they saw an eagle, and they saw 3 lion cubs on the road. So happened in the 2-hour conversation, we're talking to her, addressing some difficult relations I had with certain young people, with all kinds of signs, wonders of love. Oh, they are gifted, passionate. Come all over the world to meet me. Parents ordered the hotel fares, paid everything for me to meet this young person. That will touch over his life. He's the one I wrote the blessing for prayer when they get married. A blessed marriage. That's the highest honor a young people can give to you, right? A mother can give to you, right? Make sense to you? But God have amazing things. He literally told Haley, in between while the religious relation, he said no to that young man. Now here I had to carry through all the relationship, go through all the processes, knowing in my heart it's not going to work out. You understand? From the very beginning, before I met the young man, I saw him, my vision. I know the result. Out of my really patience and mercy to the mother, I never disclose. I can disclose very loud. Out of my compassion for the mother who was abandoned. And traumatized by Christianity, they will raise up. So I said, you know what? I'm going to walk through this. When I try to tell you, there's people operating in different levels, under different regimes. They don't have a choice first. I walk in obedience. And then I look at all around the people, how they see these things, how they comment, how they process things. Do you think I don't know how they responded? Have an evaluation? For sure I do. It's my job to do that. It's my assignment to do that. And how they respond to these things, for sure I'm going to evaluate to detect where God will for our relations about. Who are to lay out the terrain, how I develop relation with them. That's how you do it. That's what it means to walk in the Lord. Not aimlessly, mindlessly, imaginative. Amen. Hallelujah. Am I making sense to you? That's Christians do. Normal believer do. Good for them. That's not how I'm going to do. And that's not going to be the people I work with, how they do. Get it? Because that didn't work. And God made sure for me to know why it didn't work. So I can use that as a template to say how it's supposed to work, to whom I should work with. So, in that regard, is that not my invitation, your parent, to you as highest honor I can give? I think you should consider that. Maybe as a higher possibility in this man. Not the item on the supermarket. Yes, I will examine how you guys respond in kind. I'll just give you my heart. Give you the real reason I think God gave to me for me to develop a relation with you guys. If it's not respond in kind, I mean, this is pushy or this simple transaction? Then give me no reason to open the topic again with you, right? Until you got interested. And don't come back with your Christian jargons. Because it's repulsive to me. It's dead to me. It's smelly to me. You say you love God, then show me. Or you love yourself. We said we want a real, genuine working relationship. Then show me how you die to yourself first. Yourself preferences. I like it. I don't like it. I feel good. I don't feel good. Well, at the end of the day, I don't care. That's very ugly, right? Do Jesus care what Mary thinks in the middle of his ministry? He's very kind. He understands what Mary went through. The Bible said in the very beginning, before she was born, prophecy was given that Mary was struck like a pierced with sorrow, full of sorrow. That's terrible. And we think that's before, she married Joseph was early days. No. It's when Jesus died, right? All things going on. And Jesus had just kind of stop her to go through that. God is using you today as a bridge to minister, I think, to your whole family a blessing. If you receive in kind and respond in kind. It's God use the weak. When we don't open the front door, most Christians have no idea how apostle ministry really carry out, or they never know how to respond accordingly. Their idea is all the religions they grew up with. Use the word clear, okay? Religion. Made up, man's traditions. And you, hopefully a candidate to write those off, wash us away from mankind. You become a different kind of fire, different kind of altar, different kind of service. From heaven. Not from below, not historical pile out together, pick and choose, let's make the best. No, it's from heaven, divinely from above. Elijah, pray for him, ramp up here.
Yes, Lord, I just pray that this teaching and these wisdoms would be applied to Benji's life, and that he would take them with a receiving heart, mind, and spirit, Lord, and apply them to life. Pray that you would just give him peace in his mind, Lord, and encouragement in his spirit. In Jesus' name.
Benji, let me have your hand, right hand. Here, stand here. I want you to feel it, receive it in your heart, spirit to spirit. And you are a wise young man, mature far, far beyond the age. I would speak this only to a 20 years old when they settled. But you are advanced in the Lord. If I waited for 20 years old, then talk to you these things, it will be a disservice to you, right? It's like a ready vessel, ready, not willing to fill with wine, use it. So, do not think like common man think. It's because you're ready. God wants you to go ahead once in your years. Like he did with David, am I? Amen? Solomon, am I? They're capable, they're longing for it, they're ready, they're hard for it, they pray for it. And one thing I know, God don't act with me in this towards anyone, any family, without reason. That's always a clash. Because all we has to be checked, wrap up, cast away, receive the new things. Are you ready? Yes. I don't want to compel you on this. Could push you on this. You ask God, what's really you want? You ask God why you're here. And it's similar. Maybe your parents need to ask God why they're here. Why God allowed them to be included in this committee. What this committee really is for. There's a fundamental question you need to ask, right? Don't presume. Don't carry your own light. Then judge according to your own light. Here is a candlestick. Maybe that's terribly wrong. The candlestick don't move. Come to the light. Amen. Come to the candlestick. The light is Jesus comes to the light, he said, candlestick, right? Before the temple of the Lord. In the temple of the Lord. That means you move. And you better move in your process with a right attitude, right? Right approach. Not the old garment, not as this is go to another home. That's just uncomfortable. Especially don't ask candlestick move to your home. You're not qualified. We say that to you. Not yet. You don't have a appetite for it. It will shake you to the core, shake everything up. But you're ready. You're already beyond your parents. That's a fact. Amen? So no one restrain you when God call you. Move forward. Hallelujah. David's parents wrong, everybody wrong, and it's young land and it's good land, but you know what? As to God's calling, we don't know. But David didn't take that as a burden on a restriction. He said, God, whatever you want to do. Strange life ahead of me. But please, use me. Actually, I volunteer. I sighed. I see what you next to do, want to do. You're using me so amazing ways. I want to see what next thing is going on. Even now, Lord, give you Benji wisdom. More than that, I want this to carry a wheat attitude of grace in the family circles. All those distract things, limitation things, sometimes just like deadly things or smelly things. Be gone in Jesus' name. In Jesus. For example, what your grandmother knows about you in the Lord. Not much. Actually, nada. In my understanding, in my prayer. Hear me out. Nada. Because she never desired her life accordingly in this way. Do you understand what I'm saying? Nada. She's a godly lady like Mary. Amen? But Mary have a nada in Jesus' discipleship in the beginning. Do you understand? That's not dishonor people. That's a reality check. Your grandma knows nada what God wanted to do with you. She actually don't know anything. She actually oftentimes preach her own agenda, if you want to quote, upon you in spiritual matters. That has to be gone for you. Disrespectful for you. However, you need to seriously evaluate what that means for you. Because you are not going to work for your self-interest, right? My well-being. I'm afraid tomorrow what's going to happen to me. Who think like that as a servant of the Lord? Are you kidding me? They're not going to make decisions in life? In following the Lord? Is it going to work? Nada. Incompatible. I want to go where God wants me to go. I want to do it because God told me to do it. If I make a mistake, it will be because I think I'm serving God and listen to God. What do you have, Vision? Don't worry about it. What do you see? Thank you, Father. Sit down, please. Elijah, go ahead. Do you see anything?
When I a little bit ago when he told me to have a vision, I just saw an image of old gears beginning to turn.
Old gears, rusty or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
That what I mean? Old gears?
Mm-hmm. That's what I saw.
I saw, I think this actually kind of relates to what he saw almost. I saw kind of, it was an oddly shaped key.
Oddly shaped key, okay.
And it was going into...
Asian key.
Or something. It was going into the gears and started to turn the gears.
Turn gears. Well, isn't too much on this contest that I turn the key?
No. It's not too much.
Vision, spiritual input means nothing if we don't really apply it. It's always applied to living relationships. gifts, visions, weed for service. That means in my toolbox. If for my usage, that sounds crazy. It will be for your usage. Angels serve the ministry sons of God. Am I what that means? That is incompatible. In Christian mind, they think it's blasphemy. That can never happen. But it's always happened to me, so what do you want me to say? You are just one of the many that have been touched. That's norm for me. Throughout the years, invariably happened. No, I'm not reserved because I don't know where they come from. I don't talk about it. Every time I'm talking this light, they almost stuttering to me. That's what is happening? Oh yeah, it is what is happening. By the way, you don't know that is happening. How you can compatibly learn of it? How are you going to learn to operate that? My point. When it can happen to you? Because this is the way how God operates. Impartation gifts, grace, or He moves. No, we Christians are whirlpool and shambi are limited in our understanding. So when a man like me come around and said, it's testifying my work, my teachings. The first response, really? You're this man? Rather than celebrate, thank you, Lord, this is happening to me. Can you tell me more? Can I do that myself? That's the right gear. That's all I did it. That's why I was a good student in the Lord. That's why a seasoned people, God reserved people decades ahead for me. When I showed up, they know I showed up. Your parents and other people around you have no idea what that means. Do you understand? But that's what happened now to you. I know when it happened. That's why I take time to work on you. I enlist your parents in conversations because I want them to be a support to you, not a disturbance to you. That's all. I'm really not interested in discuss any character in your life, but I want God's hand to get hold of you, begin to plant you, and make you grow. Paul is master builder. Amen? Hallelujah. Someone sow, someone planting. That's all in the Bible. Apostolic grace is to do those things, Benji. But the Christianity we grew up with, we operate in, we receive and offer, oftentimes have no clue what those means. They don't operate these ways. But that's how being our operation through the years, from the time of Austin. That's why Tim and John are able to work with me. Do you understand what I'm saying? I move out, Austin. They follow behind. Who did it? I did it. I just walk away. Because the way they treated me is not kind, not in kind, not going to work. Do you understand? Their fellowship, their circles, is like a bearing weed, waste ground. Nothing can be planted. So I had to move away. That's not my judgment, that's God's word. So now we are here. They are established in this ministry and ministering to you guys. Should we hide this kind of context from you? This is a word more for your parents. Already opened out to you what it means. This is where I'm gonna plant you. I water you. I work on you. That's what I tried to say to you. You had them be transplanted from other ways of doing life in the Lord to this garden, to this field. Hallelujah. Now, Rabbi, bless the Lord. Bless the Lord. The Spirit of God is all over you. He's convicting, but he's encouraging you. Yes, the key word is you are ready, and it's here. It's a joyful thing, but it's a weedy thing. It's always a sober thing. Think about Peter. Since he said, follow me. He did follow, but you think he's settled? Not at all. You think he's dancing like a bird? Not at all. Go ahead.
Lord, I thank you. I thank you for Lord, your Lord, you're revealing of yourself in my life, Lord, for the doing away of things that do not belong, Lord, for the refining, Lord, of the hearts of your people. Sorry. Lord, I thank you for
Never apologize in the Lord, in the Spirit, okay? It's a sweet, wonderful thing. We don't apologize because of Him. We celebrate. We say, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. That's all that matters.
So, Lord, yes, I thank you for this relationship, Lord. One that is truly appointed by you. Lord, I pray that you would have your will be done in my life. Lord, help it to be understood.
This is what I can decide to do. Elijah and Benji, you two don't have to go to the class, okay? Or you guys spend good time, pray together, chant together. And you guys feel free to have a lunch together, whatever on the road, okay? Be with your friend. Is that okay? Let it, nothing in the world disturb the flow of God in his life. This is the best moment, your friendship for him, okay? So, I'll give some money to you guys, you can have some lunch together, okay? So, Elijah, is that okay? So, here you go. Oh, how much you got? That's $40.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Be not pressured, dictated by anything. Okay? Let everyone say, I have a time with the Lord, and just spend some good time with the Lord until these things is wrapped up. I'm gonna let you guys